Okay. Okay, cool. So that's recording now. So welcome to week 2, everyone. So like last week, we'll start with a bit of question answers. How was your week? Hi, Bavisha, welcome. So just how was your week? What have you, if you've been practicing, how was that going for you? Any questions you have? Then I'll come in with a bit of theory about today's practice, and then we'll go through a practice ourselves. And I'll just silence my phone while we do this because, yep, don't want any ringing while we do the session. So does anyone want to start? How was their week? Did you do the last practice? Okay, you have to speak. You can't nod your heads. I'm seeing heads nodding.
So we're still getting used to this virtual space.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start. I don't think I've done as much as I would have liked to. Actually, Charlotte and I, we chat every week. She actually said, no, she uses one of the YouTube, she gets a video on YouTube and then she follows that process, which I found a lot easier because I don't think I'm quite there yet to, I almost want to say, do it myself. So I found that helped. I must be honest, I only started with 10 minutes initially.
Yep.
And I actually got Natalia to do it with me. And
Nice.
she loved it. She loved it. Yeah, she loved it. She was a bit restless the first one. And I was like, okay, kept opening my eyes to make sure her eyes are closed. But she loved it. And she said, okay, can we do another one? I said, no, it's 10 minutes. And tomorrow we do a longer one. So yeah, she enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as well. It's calming.
Yeah. The only reason I recommend you do it on your own and not use apps or other YouTube videos in that is if you use apps, you can't do it on your own. You lose your sense of power in that sense because you lose your sense of power because someone else is taking you through it all the time. So the idea of learning how to do it on your own means that you can do it whenever you feel like.
Yeah.
You know, you can do it in a supermarket. You can do it when you're busy. You can do it in the car. Whereas if you depend on an app, you can only do it when you're home, when you have your app playing.
Yeah.
So this is why the idea is you developing your own skills.
Yeah. Well, what I thought is once I've feel more comfortable, let me rather say it that way, then I can kind of say, okay, you know what, now I can do this by myself. I don't need an app. So for me, it's just perhaps learning the process better before I can say, YouTube, I don't need you. I know what I need to be saying to myself. I think maybe that's what it's about. So once I become familiar, I won't need it. Because I even thought of, okay, let me go to your recording and play that. And then I thought, okay, but that's going to take me a while to get there. So let me just try this and see. So I'm hoping that I will master it, if I can say it that way, where I won't need an app and I can just say it to myself.
Yeah. But you'll only get there by practicing on your own.
True.
I mean, when I started off with guided meditations as well. And it was so much easier doing a practice with guided. But that's when I realized I can't do it on my own if I'm only using guided. And you don't learn the skill of doing it on your own until you do it on your own and keep practicing that. Because the guided is too easy in that sense. So it doesn't matter how, like I said last time, even if you're doing a 10-minute or 20-minute sit and you're getting 1 minute of mindfulness, that's all you're aiming for. You're not aiming to stay present all the time. It's just staying present for that 1 minute seconds at a time.
Okay.
You know, it's each time you bring your attention back, you're staying there for 1 second before you disappear again. And then you come back again and you bring yourself back and you stay for 1 second and then you bugger off again.
Yeah.
So it's about it's that, and that's the training process. That's how you learn mindfulness. It's that repetition, repetition, repetition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Each time you bring yourself back, it is training your mind that no, I'm in charge, not you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Other questions, other experiences? Yeah, Panzel? I'll unmute
No,
you.
I just want to add to that useful part that you mentioned about staying mindful for longer, because I always used to do my meditations like right at the end of the day, and I mean then it's like sleep time. So now with this process where we have the whole day to ourselves, I also moved to morning meditation where I just sit also, and then a little bit of a like 10-minute, 15-minute in the afternoon, and then again at night, a shorter period of time. So it's 3 times during the day instead of just that one long session at the end of the day. And it definitely makes a difference. I don't know what your feel on that is. Maybe shorter periods more regularly than just one long session. I could really feel that also made a big difference to my state of mind and just being present and mindful more often.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, the more you can do it, the better. And even if you're breaking up into 3 slots or 2 slots or whatever, it is, the more we practice, like anything, the better we get at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any other questions, comments? How was your week? What did you struggle with? What did you experience?
A strange thing was happening to me regularly. I don't know if it's like just the being hogged in the house all the time, but I have like a vague headache all the time, and I feel so dizzy. I don't know if it's just maybe symptoms of being in the house too much. I don't know. But it was just like, almost like a lightheaded dizziness, sort of and then that headache, and then as if I sit, it gets better. It definitely makes a difference. But that was now like almost like a symptom, which I thought I must ask you, Mom, about. So yeah.
Yeah. No, don't know about the headache. It just could be, the tension from the state we're all in, or the lives that we're in. Even if we're not conscious of it, there's a frequency of anxiety floating around. And this is an unfamiliar, not a very natural way of being.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments?
I've personally found it quite useful during the week because I've been struggling with back pain and shoulder pain and stuff. I think it's just because, working from home is not quite adapted to ergonomic style of working. And I do find that, especially when I'm starting to feel like really bad pain, just doing the mindfulness almost kind of makes it a bit less. I don't know if that sounds right, but
yeah.
You're not feeling so much the pain, but you kind of stepping back or something like that almost.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Mindfulness definitely works with pain, pain that comes up now, but also chronic pain. I use it a lot with clients with chronic pain because it is that idea of being able to witness the pain without identifying with the pain, or witness the pain without engaging with the pain. And just witnessing it somehow takes the angst out of it, and we just witness it rather than it becomes me. It's me.
Okay, yeah, that's a good perspective to look at it that way.
Yeah, And the other thing about watching the pain is that our normal response in life, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain, our normal response is we want to run away from anything that's uncomfortable. Okay, so we're attracted to stuff we like, we don't want stuff, we push away from it. Mindfulness is actually, I look at both equally. So I welcome the pain, and the more I fight the pain, the more I'm fueling it. Like I said last time, the phrase in mindfulness is what we resist persists, what we observe disappears. And that's why pain becomes less, because I stop and I go, okay, I'm in pain. Cool, what are you made of? Welcome. Let me look at you. And I think of that as the monster under the bed. You know, when we're kids and we have the monster under the bed, the more I think about the monster under the bed and the more I fear the monster under the bed, the bigger the monster grows. But if I just get off my bed and look under the bed and go, oh, it's that plank touching that thing, and that's why my bed's creaking, it all of a sudden loses its power.
Mhm.
And the same thing with pain.
Cool.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, so today we're going to be, like last week, I spoke about there's two parts to mindfulness. One is traditional mindfulness or the Vipassana meditation or insight meditation. And the other side is metta or loving kindness approach. So today and the next few sessions, we're going to be focusing on the metta, which is the loving kindness practice. Loving kindness is about exploring our heart and exploring my relationship to my heart. So it's a friendly wish that we're giving ourselves. May I be peaceful. Okay, and peaceful can mean anything that you need it to mean. One of the definitions that I heard of peaceful is that it's to be peaceful is to accept reality as it is, to accept what's happening now. Because then I can be at peace with it. If I'm fighting reality, if I'm fighting the pain, if I'm fighting anything, I can't be at peace. So may I be peaceful is the phrase we're going to use today. But I'll take you through that. So it's a gentle, friendly wish to you from you. It's not a command. It's not a demand. It's not, you will do this, you will have this. It's just a gentle, friendly wish. And every cell in your body has a right to say, yes, I want this, or actually, no, I don't want this. You're not forcing anything on you. And the idea with this, the metta practice, the loving kindness approach is same thing as with the insight meditation. It's starting to notice that my feelings are not dependent on my external environment. It's dependent on my relationship to what's happening. It's dependent on how I perceive what's happening, whether I feel a victim to the situation, whether I feel empowered, or how I want to relate to it. It's the ability to respond rather than react. And with the metta practice, we're responding from our heart and noticing how my heart is responding to this condition. And the wish is simple, may I be peaceful. The other idea with this practice is that we're starting to train our minds to notice what peace looks like. We're training our bodies to notice what peace feels like. The analogy here is I'm introducing you to someone new called Peaceful or Peace. And it's someone you haven't really met or met once or twice or whatever, so it's not someone you know that well. But the more you orientate and train yourself to build a relationship with peace, the more easier you can notice it. The more easier you can call it on when you need it. So if we think of it as a person, it's someone you met once, you can't really spot them in a crowd because you're not really sure what she looks like. But if it's someone you're really, really close to, you can spot them in a crowd a mile away because you're so familiar with them. You know exactly how they stand, how they look, how they move. You're completely familiar with them. And that's what the training in the metta practice is. It's training yourself to orientate towards peace. What does peace feel like in my body? And that's what we're going to practice today. Any questions? No? All good? Thumbs up, all good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So if you want, you can switch your cameras off. I'll just mute everyone because we'll just go into the practice now. Oh, all master classes unmuted. I need to mute all. Sorry. Okay, so everyone is muted. So we'll do a 20-minute sit, just like last time. Okay, and it's just getting comfortable, sitting in whatever position is comfortable for you. Eyes open or closed makes no difference, but just sitting with your body as upright as you can be. And just like last week, it's just starting with relaxing your body. Noticing the sounds around you and just giving your body permission to relax and let go. Feeling the parts of your body that are touching the chair or floor or however you're sitting. And just giving a deep breath, out breath, and just allowing yourself to rest in this position. Giving your mind permission to relax and let go. Trusting that for now, there's no other demands on you except just relaxing and letting go. This is your time. Now, if you want, just bring a friendly wish to you from you. May I have peace in my heart. May my heart be peaceful. As you give this wish, may I be peaceful in my heart. Notice how your body responds to this wish. Notice the parts that says yes, notice the parts that says no. Really focus on the part that says yes. Focus on that one cell in your being that says yes to being peaceful in this moment. And if you're struggling to find peace in your heart or allowing your heart to be peaceful, use the anyway phrase. May I have peace in my heart anyway. May my heart be peaceful anyway, with all the dramas, with all the resistance. May I have peace in my heart anyway. May my heart be peaceful anyway. And notice what the anyway statement does. Use the phrase as many times as you need, but the focus is on the feeling of peace in your heart, not the phrase. This is an embodied practice, so feel what peace feels like in your heart, even if it's only in one cell. And again, notice when your mind gets distracted, lovingly, gently, remind yourself that you're practicing peace in your heart. May there be peace in my heart. Or may there be peace in my heart anyway. Now, if you want, give yourself a friendly wish of may there be peace in my mind. May there be peace in my mind anyway, with all the craziness, with all the distress, with all the fear. May there be peace in my mind anyway. And again, just notice how your body responds, how your mind responds. Keep bringing attention to what it feels like, or use the phrase if you need it. May there be peace in my heart. May there be peace in my mind. It doesn't matter if your mind wanders away. Lovingly, gently, bring your attention back to the feeling of peace in your mind with a gentle wish. And now just releasing the specifications and just a gentle, friendly wish to you from you. May I be peaceful. Whatever that looks like or feels like for you, may I be peaceful. If you're struggling to feel peaceful, use the anyway statement. May I be peaceful anyway. And only if one cell, even if only one cell of your body responds to the wish with yes, focus on that one cell, nurture that one cell. You only need one tiny part of you to say yes. May I be peaceful, or may I be peaceful anyway. Really allowing yourself to feel what that feels like in your body in this moment. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, switch your cameras back on. I'll just unmute now. So, how was that experience?
Lovely.
Happy. Peaceful.
Nice. What did you feel, Val?
Yeah, I felt I felt very peaceful, just having rushed back from the doctor. So yeah, it was good for me just to feel peaceful. Yeah, peaceful in my mind, peaceful in my heart.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Anyone else?
I think for me the most kind of profound thing is the anyway. That irrespective of, although you asking for peace, so your wish is peace, even if you're not as peaceful as you'd like to be, or even though things are going on, you kind of saying anyway. And I think the anyway for me is really, I like that, because despite what might be going on, despite all of that, you kind of still asking for that peace. So that anyway is really, I think it's powerful.
Yeah. And I love that anyway, because it is saying that, like I said, this is not dependent on conditions, because our normal world is dependent on conditions. And I can only be peaceful if this, and this is happening in my life. Otherwise, I can't be peaceful. And this anyway statement means, yes, even with all that craziness going on, even with coming back from the hospital, even with all those things going on, I'm still allowed to feel peaceful.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the anyway statement. For me, it's that idea of how I like to explain this is that if you're having a fight with your partner and it's a nice fight and you're going for it, even in that moment, the love isn't gone. Because if something were to happen in that moment, you'd completely forget the fight and focus on the love. And that's what the anyway is saying, that even with the tension that's there, that's fine. I'm allowed to have a tension in my heart. But there's this tiny little pocket where I'm allowed to have peace as well. So it's opening my heart to all emotions at the same time and holding them all together, rather than saying I can only have one emotion at a time in my heart, which doesn't make sense because we never have one emotion in our heart. And that was what the anyway statement gives me, is that permission to hold all these different emotions together. Other comments? Is that you, Quinzel?
I just want to excuse myself. Giovanni's got a poo. So I'm peaceful anyway. You here? Okay. Lie down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else have any experience or comment of what they experienced?
Yeah, Bhavna, just to say that in being in the meditation and wishing yourself peace in your mind and even letting your mind relax, I sort of found thoughts also came into my mind perhaps without me thinking about it. Just things that came in, but then I just went back into thinking about wishing myself peace in my mind again. Don't know if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's normal because you're never going to get rid of the thinking mind, the
No.
critical mind. And again, that's where the anyway statement comes in. I mean, sometimes I'm sitting in meditation and my mind's really restless and it's running all over the show.
Yeah.
And I just use the anyway statement, may I be peaceful anyway. And it's like, oh yeah, even with the crazy mind, I can still be peaceful. I'm still
Yeah.
allowed to have peace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's welcoming those thoughts, but always coming back to that idea of you allowed to be there. So we're not trying to get rid of anything. You're not fighting anything. You're not fighting the distracting mind. You're not fighting the distracting emotions. You're just allowing all to be there and held together.
I think what's also interesting, because I also have that where you sometimes have these distracting thoughts, but doing this allows you to almost kind of step back and observe the distracting, all the thoughts that's going on, which normally you wouldn't do. You know, your mind's just so busy, but doing it this way, some of those thoughts might still be happening, the distracting thoughts, but you're actually more conscious of them actually.
Yeah.
So you're almost observing them, and being able to observe them makes you peaceful almost, because you realize that you're not actually those thoughts. Those are just thoughts. It's not you almost.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And that's the power of mindfulness, and that's the gift of mindfulness, is that just a really simple practice like this just relaxes your body and gives you that distance, like you said, Shay, that distance between your thoughts, which normally is whatever I think is very, very, very real. But when I do this practice, I go, it's just one of my clients called it her crazy, and I love that. It's just my crazy going mad. It's like, yeah, okay, my crazy is allowed to have the thoughts that she wants because that's her job. She's the crazy. Yeah.
And I think that's the challenge, is that it's okay to have the thoughts and you don't actually have to do anything about them. I think we normally go to, okay, so this, I've got to do this, I've got to resolve it this way, I've got to do that, kind of almost problem solving. And here you can just be aware of it, and it's okay. You don't have to do anything about it right now. You just have to observe it. And it's okay. You can still have the peace anyway, despite all the crazy, I like what your client said, what's going on in the mind. It's okay. You don't have to action anything at this point. You can just observe.
Yeah. And that's the gift of the metta, or this practice. For me, the more we practice orientating towards peace, surprise, surprise, the more peaceful we feel. And it's really that easy. The more I practice peace in my heart, peace in my mind, or just being peaceful, the more naturally peaceful comes. And even in times of distress, even in times when I'm not peaceful, I can tap into this tiny part and go, hey, can you just pop up here, please? Because I need a bit of that peace in my distress. So when we were on retreat, this was a 10-day metta retreat, and some days were really, really, really hard. And just feeling all that distress, just by using these phrases, I could, unlike my usual habit of having a big cry or expressing myself in that way, this practice almost encapsulated my emotions. So rather than a big explosion, I had a contained explosion, because I was just holding my distress with peace and love and tenderness. So it was in that container rather than explosion. And that's the first time ever that I was able to experience my emotions without the big drama, without the big stuff. And that's what I love about this metta practice, is that it provides a container. I can feel my distress, and at the same time I can bring in the peace. And it doesn't take away the distress, but it just wraps it up in a nice comfy blanket. So it's really practicing this again, same instructions as last week. It's doing a 10-minute practice on, may I be peaceful? You can do it the way we've done it in terms of separating head and heart, or just may I be peaceful. There's no right or wrong. You do it however you feel like. And again, if you're doing a 10-minute practice, you only get 1 minute of feeling peaceful. The rest of the time, your mind's distracted, or you forgot what you're doing, and you're off in the fantasy world. That's okay. Your job is to train your mind to just keep coming back to this. And then in terms of the informal practice that we spoke about last time, with the metta, it's also that same thing of going, can I be peaceful in the shower? Can I be peaceful while cooking? Can I be peaceful while doing this? And really training yourself to become familiar with what peace feels like in your body, and noticing all the different moments of peace. Because the more you become familiar with peace, the easier it is to click onto it when you need it, when you're distressed. Because then it becomes a trusted friend next to you.
I can use another one.
So, yeah. So just playing with that idea of orientating towards peace. The other way in terms of the metta is slightly different to the mindfulness that we did last week, is when it comes to the informal practice, again, with the showering and stuff like that, can you shower and dress and look after yourself the way you would a loved one, or your little daughter, your child? You know, when it comes to bathing babies or dressing them, we do so much TLC around that. When it comes towards bathing me and dressing me, but, you know, just slap it on and get moving. There's no time for that. Can you actually gift yourself care in that sense of, yeah, wash your body, touch yourself. Bring in the love for yourself. Bring in the care for yourself, as if you are worthy, as if you are your child, as if you matter. Same thing with feeding you. Can you feed you rather than gobbling your food? Can you feed you as you would your baby? You know, gently go. Yeah, my darling, have a bite. With the love and compassion that you would feed someone else. And it's seeing if you can bring that in other activities. When you go to bed, put yourself to bed. Hug yourself, love yourself, and then just gently put yourself to bed as you would your child. And this is where the metta practice is slightly different. It's that idea of bringing in the love and compassion for you in the informal practice as well as in the formal practice. This week I was doing the body balance, and it comes on TV, the body balance, which is the Les Mills gym class. And I started the sun salutation, and I just when we went down, I just stayed down and went, oh, I want to do this. My 2-year-old was having a bit of a tantrum. And just very gently, I kind of brought in the loving, compassionate mother and told myself, I said, listen, darling, this is the only exercise you're doing at the moment. You're not going for walks. You're not going for bike rides. This is the only exercise you're doing. Can you please do it? Because it's good for you. And after that gentle talk, I was happy to do the class. So it's not about fighting yourself in terms of you will do it, damn it. It's, yeah, convince yourself. Be gentle. Now, there's no fight from me when I brought in that loving, compassionate voice. I said, come, darling, this is the only form of exercise we're doing. You really need to do it. Help me here. And yeah, she was more than happy to do it. So it's the how you talk to yourself as well. Now bring in that love and compassion. Talk to yourself as if you matter, because you do matter. Feed yourself, care for yourself. Just notice the things you do for you. Or the things that you don't do for you that you do for people that you love. And this is how we start bringing in peace into our lives, by gifting ourselves these moments. Same thing with going to sleep for me is, yeah, wishing myself a peaceful sleep. Putting myself to bed gently and going, may you have peaceful sleep. May you have lovely dreams. Not just setting the tone, setting the intent.
Look at it, boss. Like you're saying, you know, if you gently talk to yourself, like with her, I always feel that she'll be a distraction for me whilst I sit, and I almost become like frantic that I need to let Tristan take care of her. But yes, we can just finish with me. And then as she was with me now, even handling her poo nappy whilst in meditation actually was quite profound. So it definitely makes one look at it from a different angle and just say, yes, I deal with this now, but I'm going back to the fields, you know. So that definitely is amazing.
Yeah. Any other comments?
I'm certainly quite looking forward to just this whole analogy that you said, you know, you need to kind of almost gift yourself as you would someone you love. Because I'm thinking, I'm going to feel amazing when I say to myself, you know, look like taking care of myself, really, because you don't normally do that. You know, you just go about the motions of life type of thing. But if you actually had to step back and give yourself the attention as you would somebody you loved, I expect you'd feel pretty amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the blessings of lockdown, or the limited life we're living at the moment, is there's all the time in the world.
Yeah.
To give ourselves this kind of stuff. I'm not rushing. Yes, I mean, some of us are working from home, but it's still on the weekend or after work, there's no rush to go anywhere to do anything. So I've got all the time in the world to actually give myself that extra few minutes. I'm not driving to work. I'm not doing any of that. So I've got time to actually do a proper morning routine for myself. Sorry, Nels, you were going to say something.
I think it's also consciousness of that, because as much as we are living restricted lives, for want of a better way of me saying it, there's still madness because children don't go to school. So there is still madness, if I can say it that way. So I think for me, it's that consciousness that, you know what, and again, it's what Shay said in terms of the self-care, the self-love, the nurturing of self, because it's so easy to do it for everybody else, and you are always last on the list. In fact, you're never on the list, I almost want to say. So it's that consciousness that, yes, you're right, yes, we have time, but make time, because there's a lot of time. But I can tell you something, it's difficult to make that time if you're not conscious that this is what you need to be doing. That actually, because I think what stands out for me is that notion that you matter, you're worthy and you matter. And you've got to be conscious in showing that you actually do. And that's the gifting. So I like that.
Yeah, and definitely it is that consciousness, because, well, until now, until today, we've all been showering. But there's a difference between showering with awareness and just showering the body. So it's definitely a change in attitude.
Yeah.
And we don't need extra time to shower with awareness or to shower disconnected. It's not a matter of time. It's a matter of intent. Now I touch myself and I connect with my body quickly or slowly. The speed at which I do it has nothing to do with the awareness. If I do that, I'm aware I touch my arm. If I do that really slowly, I'm aware I touch my arm either way. Awareness is a change in the mind.
Yeah.
Any final remarks?
That was lovely.
So,
Yeah.
So suggestion, and that's all that it is practice this as much as you can. Whether it's one sit a day for 10 minutes, 2 sits a day for 5 minutes each, or 2 10 minutes, really doesn't matter. It's how much you do is up to you. But it's also practicing that informal practice, that informal thing of caring for yourself, gifting yourself tiny moments of peace. So even while washing the dishes, you're going, I can do this distressed, or I can actually just be peaceful and enjoy and play with washing the dishes. Can I bring in peace into my daily activities and see what that feels like? And then we'll meet again next week, same time, same place. And then how you've done, and then introduce you to a new one.
Thank you, Bhavna.
Thank you, Bhavna.
Thanks, Bhavna.